Coach Nerd.
At least we give y'all exciting games, huh?
That's right. This is my class. These are my students.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's my sports reporting class.
Good.
We gave them a really good game.
Yeah, we did. I thought, a big part of it I was worried about was the start, especially when they have such a dynamic player who can kind of change the game. So I wanted to make sure we got off to a start and we kind of gave them some different looks early. Thought we did, and then we just died out. We just kind of gassed out halfway through, and they were able to make a run and kind of change it. But our guys and our team has showed just the grit and the resilience to be able to battle and just keep competing and to respond with whatever's going in the game and just finish the game and still to win by 9. I was very, very impressed with just their fight and just their willing to get lost in the game. I thought True Washington, his defense in the second half and some of his steals that he came up with were huge. I felt like Sheldon was always the best matchup for Okoro, but I didn't want to put him on him early because I didn't want to wear him down, and then he still ended up cramping in the second half. But he did a great job down the stretch of just face guarding him, taking him out, blowing up ball screens. So they really did. I thought everybody kind of contributed in their minutes. Dante had a great spark plug. Timo to hit 2 threes after missing 3 free throws in a row was big for us. So I'm glad.
What was your strategy on Okoro, and how do you think you guys did?
I mean, we had like 5 contingency plans, you know what I mean? So we went through 3 of them. We didn't get to the last 2. The first one was one, and this is high praise because of how good I think he is. He is able to get through tight cracks and split a ball screen, the best I've seen in college since Kimball Walker. And it's the one thing that was really impressive in person and watching him on film is just his burst and his speed and to be able to get through cracks. So the big part was just not letting him split. He got a few of them because he's good. So that was one. So we did a good job kind of catching him. Then the second part we kind of tried to do was go zone when he pulled it out. So we couldn't give him any gaps. So that worked a few times. And then the last thing that we went through was we finally put Sheldon on and just face guarded him in the last 10 minutes of the game. So we just eliminated his help and just tried to take him out the game and make him play 4-on-4.
Coach, you mentioned yesterday that you still want to experiment with your lineups a little bit.
Yep.
You did so today, moving True off the bench and Trey back into the starting lineup.
Yep.
Just what did you kind of think of that look that it brought you guys today?
I'm just trying to find ways to give us some scoring off the bench and put guys in with different lineups, just within the flow of the game. Like the way our team is built, the way our roster is built, the guys are gonna play their minutes. Like it doesn't matter. True still end up playing his 26 minutes, Dante his 25 minutes. I'm just trying to find something that gives us some pop at between the 12-minute and 5-minute mark of the first half. Somebody that can come in with some energy and give us a kind of a scoring punch when Malik is out or when Trey is out or Sheldon's out. Just trying to figure some things out. And we'll keep tweaking it and try to find out what works.
And then those consecutive threes that Timo hit came after the sequence where he missed 3 free throws.
Yep.
Just what does that kind of say about his confidence to come off that sequence, which is obviously very demoralizing for a shooter, and still hit 2 threes that were obviously big for the offense?
It's huge. His ability, him and Noam, their ability to stretch the court for us. So whenever they can get out there and, I tell them to shoot the ball. If you're open, shoot it. For to miss 3 free throws and to come back and bang 2 threes was huge. And for the guys to find them in those 2 possessions. True with a good kind of pivot reverse pass at the top of the key, and I think the other one was a skip from Trey or something like that. But his response was great.
Coach, many people know that you're one of the best rebounding teams in the country, but it seemed that it proved to be very effective today. Ernest doing what he needed to do, especially in the second half, giving you second opportunities, and especially Shelton. You might not have had the best offensive game, but can you speak about your rebounding and how effective it has been, at least throughout this season?
It's a big part of our formula, especially offensively. We got to get 15 offensive rebounds. We try to get 40% of our misses. We would have been pretty good if Malik would rebound the ball offensively or rebound the ball, period. So I got to get on him about that. But if we can get 40% of our misses, it's kind of our formula. I always say this. Threes for us are kind of like bonus points. You know what I mean? So if we can get 40%, we can get 19 free throws like we did, and we get 40 points in the paint, it gives us a chance to be in every game and beat anybody, even when they hit 11 threes. You know, the #1 team in the country just went on the road and beat BYU and made 4 threes.
You had only 9 turnovers, and
Yeah.
not one player on the team had a negative assist to turnover ratio individually.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's who we've always been. We've been this high assist team. We got to get back to doing it. And I think the one thing that's changed is the way people guarding us. They're really converging and really packing the paint. So we got to get off the ball earlier. I thought we did a better job of getting off the ball earlier. Now we got less aggressive in the ball screens. So we end up just going east and west when we could have got downhill because the zone was man. But we were treating it like it was zone, and we practiced, we worked on it, and the guys, we showed them some film and stuff at halftime. And in the second half, it started to click for them, and they were able to get to where they wanted to.
Yeah, go for a couple more.
Got a 13-0 advantage in fast break points. Obviously it's a very huge pace is a very huge emphasis in your coaching style, but just how big was the transition advantage tonight?
It's huge. It's huge because it gets us out in transition, it gets us easy points, and it leads to fouls for us too. And it kind of died on us because we stopped getting stops. And so that part in the first half, they started scoring, and then we're playing against the zone, we're playing against the set defense the whole time. So it eliminates a big part of what we do. And so being able to rebound and then being able to get stops, we got to get out and go because we're dynamic. We got big bodies, we got great speed. If we can get out, get downhill, it's either going to be a foul or a finish. And that's what we preach.
Does the free throw shooting concern you still? You still left, even though you did have 19, but you left a bunch on the line.
I mean, you always want to be greedy. If we 19 for whatever, as long as we get to 19, because it just wears on teams. I mean, if you're shooting that many free throws, they got foul trouble. We've been able to kind of enforce our will. We've probably gotten some second chance points, some offensive rebounds from that, free throws, things like that. So it just kind of, we practice them. Some nights we're good at them, some nights we're bad at them, but we just keep chipping away.
Coach, you talked
Last one.
about how you wanted Trey to be a better guard at the start of the season. To see the way that he was able, at least in these close games, starting to guide the team and land the plane, especially the way that he did tonight, what does it say about him growing as a player?
I mean, I think he's had a great year so far, and he's shown that part of his game the most since he's been here. People are putting a lot of emphasis on him, guarding him a bunch of different ways. They were icing him tonight, so they're giving him different looks. But just his ability, like the second half, to be honest with you, we ran the same play the whole half because we were able just to put him in the ball screen, and it was working. And then they tried to deny him, so now we hit Malik, and now we're able to still get in the ball screen and stuff. Just having those guys down the stretch is very important. You always need a good guard, and he's turning from a good guard to a great guard for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.